Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. It is the FTW podcast, the wrestling world in all its laughable glory. And I think for the first time in about 40 episodes, we have all the members from the theme song on the show.
Excellent.
Yes, tonight is episode number 149, recorded live on January 29th, 2013 on FTWLive.com. It's the OG show, folks. It is 2011 all over again. We have me, Harrison, and Joe. Say hello, Joe.
Hoi, hoi, hoi.
Rob. Say hello, Rob.
Hey.
Kevin. Say hello, Kevin.
Man, gee, I wonder who, doesn't show up for the show and that's in the song. I mean, come on, Joe. What's your problem?
I told you, man. I told you in the pre-show, you are the Rock of this podcast. You're in all the promos. You show up once a year, and then we're all like, Kevin's back!
But is he more The Rock or is he more Pork Laser?
Yes,
No, I'm the Rock, motherfucker.
We gotta get you on a guitar singing a song about Cheez-Its. And Garvin is manning the boards. Tonight, we'll discuss, I can't believe I'm actually gonna say this, but you guys, shut up about tunnel unification. I don't want to talk about this anymore. TNA's 2013 Outlook. We also discussed the Rumble, the Rock, and the return of Brock. If you're listening through iTunes, YouTube, or through your favorite podcast player, make sure to check out ftwpodcast.com for more about us and how to get involved in upcoming discussions. You can also find out about us on Twitter, Google+, and Facebook. All those links are listed right there on our site, ftwpodcast.com. For those of you guys listening live right here tonight on ftwlive.com, hey! Glad you can make it. First off, though, we're going to jump right into WWE, and we're going to have the stipulations about what we saw on the Rumble and what it means for WrestleMania, but let's just mark out a little bit about the Rumble, and let's say the number one story out of the entire thing, the return of Goldust. Joe.
That was epic.
Right? And he lasted a while, too. It wasn't like, the Godfather was only in for, in and out. I mean...
Yeah, he brought only 2 hoes down. Which shows that the economy's really hurt the Godfather. At least they were good-looking hoes and not like crack hoes. But, he came out, got knocked out. He's just like, hey, pimping ain't easy, and off he goes,
But Goldust returned and looked pretty good, I gotta be honest. Being out of the ring for at least 8 years.
No. He's been in the WWE within the last 5. Maybe it wasn't very long.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, against Sheamus. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, he still looked pretty good. All right. So as far as the Royal Rumble goes, I do want to do a quick announcement for our prediction results, and that is, the winner is Joe. You corrected most matches. Right now, the thing is, Rob is tied with Lee with 56 correct matches. Next up is Joe. You got 52. Garvin has 49. I only got 47 because I bowed out of this. But the best part is, so we did our pre-show with Juliet, who was awesome, and I couldn't make it, but she did a really good job. She's on the board, and Kevin isn't.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. I appreciate it.
She predicted. I just love it right now. Juliet, who's been on one show, Kevin, and you are in the theme song, and she's beating you.
Hey. The Rock isn't taking any crap. He's getting on the board.
All right. So seriously, the Rumble. So Cesaro and Miz had their pre-show for the U.S. title. I gotta be honest. I'm totally looking forward to this feud, man. These two are gonna be great together. Even if Cesaro isn't that spectacular on the mic, you can't really rule a crowd like Miz. I mean, what'd you guys think about that? Potential as far as a great feud leading forward this year? What'd you think?
I think it is. My question, is the Miz really fallen this far, though? I mean, that's the thing I take out of it more than anything. I agree with you that it's going to be really good, but damn! I mean, we're a year and a half, I think, removed from him being the champ. Talk about the shitter.
Yeah, but okay, I can see what you're saying about that, but back me up. If anybody can back me up, what if they're looking at him almost as like he's going to groom Cesaro and help him out where he's lacking, and that's crowd reaction. That's something that Miz is really good at, and Cesaro just seems to be, that's the only thing he's lacking. Do you think maybe that's what they're kind of helping Miz? I mean, Joe, what do you think? I mean, do you see that going forward?
I think Miz is, being a main event guy is lending, having been in the main event, we obviously don't consider him a main event guy now. But I see him lending a whole bunch of credence to help build Cesaro right now. You've got a guy who's held the world title. He's held just about every title that's available to him. I don't think there's one he hasn't held. He's had the IC, he's had the US. Well, he hasn't had the world. So, but he's had the WWE Championship. So, I mean, they're using him. He's a upper card guy. They're using him to really elevate Cesaro. I like it.
Okay, Kev. I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you see that, or are you sticking with the idea that this is Miz? Cool.
I hope that's the case, and it just seems like an incredible fall. And it's not that. I mean, if the Miz wants to step down and try and put over a guy that's U.S. champ, great, or get some heat in that feud. But you're talking about a guy that held the title. To me, it just says that total dog ass. But maybe this is the way he works his way back. But I mean, if we're looking at it from the basis of the feud, yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. You're talking about two guys that are really good in the ring, and Cesaro's good on the mic. He's improving a lot. I think it's, as far as the feud goes, yeah, I'm with you. I think it's going to be awesome. It just, to me, it speaks volumes that Miz has dropped this far. But for what it's going to be, I'm with you. I want to see it.
Okay, cool. All right. So the other thing I want to discuss is, other than the two big things, the Rumble and the Rock, Alberto Del Rio. I mean, this guy, it's weird. It's almost like night and day compared to, 6 months ago when we thought he was just languishing there. Turn him face and he's just lighting the world on fire. I mean, that crowd, everything about it, it's, for me, it's working. It's totally working. I mean, Joe, what do you think?
It's still kind of weird and up in the air to me. It still doesn't seem to fit, especially because right before he turned face, he ran over Santa Claus.
Okay. More time then.
I mean, it's different. I get where they're trying to go with it, but it still doesn't seem to exactly fit.
I get what you're saying. He did run over Santa Claus. I mean, that's going to be time. Is what's going to take for that one.
Cena's Freedom Santa Claus for Santa, and the weird look on his face—that's one for the ages. That's like a worst of Raw.
Kev, what do you think? Not with the worst of Raw thing, but Alberto Del Rio as face.
He's done a better job than I thought he would. I understood the turn for where they were and what they wanted to do with it, and the people that they could turn. So I understood why they did it. I wasn't so sure how it would work out, but I'll give him credit. I think he's done a lot better than I thought he would. He's holding his own, and I think he's doing a good job with where he's at and the things that he needs to do to be a face and to hold the title. And it certainly doesn't hurt that Ricardo Rodriguez is very charismatic. He's coming out. People were doing that. Alberto, the crowd's getting into that. It's good, and I mean that's a good sign for him. And it was a pretty good pop at the pay-per-view, so he can keep it rolling for a while. Good idea.
Kevin, I'm with you 100%, but the only thing I have a problem with is when you say you were surprised. This guy was the number one face in Mexico by a mile before he came into WWE. You can kind of say...
So is Sin Cara.
Well, okay, but Sin Cara doesn't have to have that same kind of vocal charisma that these two have to do. And when you look at Ricardo and ADR...
Eventually Sin Cara's going to have to talk.
I'm sorry?
Eventually Sin Cara's going to have to talk.
Well, yeah, but in the meantime, though, if he does... Well, okay, is that what Sin Cara was known for when he was down there?
Oh, hell if I know.
Exactly. ADR and Ricardo, they look so much more comfortable, so much more relaxed, and they just look like this is their natural stride. And when people see that resonates with the crowd when they're out there. So, I mean, Kev, I'm sorry. I mean, I agree with you 100%, except for that. I just think it's weird that... I mean, I can't imagine that they wouldn't be better as faces than heels.
Yeah, I mean, I just wasn't sure. Some guys aren't. Some guys are better one way or the other. Obviously, my good buddy Jeff Hardy is a perfect example of that. But he's proven me wrong. I'm not saying anything there. I wasn't sure, but he's proving me wrong. I think he's done a good job as a face, and the way that he's holding on, and the way that he's holding his own with the title, it's good. I'm impressed. So keep it rolling.
Okay, Rob, what do you think? Do you like ADR better as a face or as a heel?
I like him much better as a face. I mean, when I look at ADR as a heel, he seemed to fit the classic mode of a face who wasn't comfortable playing a heel. There were a lot of his big heel promos where he'd started off like a face, and then about halfway through the promo, it would seem like he remembered, oh shit, I'm a bad guy, and try to turn it that way. When I see him now, he seems much more comfortable, much more familiar in the role of a face, and I think it's better for him, and it's going to be better for the WWE overall.
No, excellent point, Rob. Yeah, I think going forward, it's definitely something I think to do because they do have a dearth of faces on the SmackDown side of the roster. I mean, we can't have Orton coming back, getting injured, or going on a forced vacation for a while. Right.
Not only that, but they've been looking for a replacement for Mysterio. They've been looking for a replacement for Mysterio. Sin Cara was supposed to be that replacement and has flopped.
Yep.
ADR, if he keeps going as a face, could potentially be that replacement, at least until they get another more Lucha Libre style wrestler to replace Mysterio.
Yeah, but you can't. Sin Cara is like trying to out Mysterio at this point. You can't bring in a guy who wears a mask but doesn't fucking talk and think he's going to do better than Mysterio.
Okay, so now we got to talk about the namesake of the pay-per-view, the Royal Rumble itself. Let's just take it. We're going to rip that Band-Aid off right now. Cena won. It's his second win. I'm trying to remember who are the other people that won too, and I really don't care anymore. So here we are, Cena going.
Austin.
HBK did it, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's won a couple. Flair
won too.
I think he won two, didn't he?
I don't think Flair
He's a wrestling
won two.
god.
I think he only won one.
Joe.
God.
I can remember one.
Damn it, WWE.
He's a wrestling god.
He's a wrestling god, damn it. And a multi-time Hall of Famer, at least he could be a multi-time Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble 2014, Flair wins.
That requires him to come back to the ring, and fuck that.
At least he could do a figure four correctly, Miz. Alright. It was his first time. I'll give him that. Alright. So Cena won. A lot of hate to do this. I want to take the temperature of the room. We're going to go one by one. How much, if any, did you possibly like this? Joe?
Okay, wait. Sorry. Which one are we talking about first?
Cena winning.
I didn't care for it, but it was a solid Rumble.
Okay, the Rumble itself, right?
The Rumble itself was great. Him winning, but I liked the fact that it came down to, it was, Sheamus, Cena, Ryback, and was it Orton?
At the end?
Yeah, the final four?
I think so.
I mean, I don't remember. I was in and out of the living room. I had a bunch of people at the house partying, drinking, having a good old time, but man, it was a solid Rumble, so I'm not that disappointed about Cena.
Okay. All right. Kevin.
Why? Okay. It started off so well. Dolph was number one, we knew that. And then explosion, break the world down with Chris Jericho, and the jacket was awesome. It was great. And then why do you have to have Cena win? Why? It's not necessary. you could have pushed other guys. I wouldn't have had a problem if Ryback won. I didn't want Ryback to win, but I wouldn't have had a problem with it. No! Damn it! You know, it also you could set up some triple threat match or now fatal 4-way since we know Brock's back. We'll get into that later. No! That was... Damn it!
Rob, what do you think?
I would have preferred Dolph Ziggler win, but the Royal Rumble match was really good, and screw everybody. I'm a John Cena fan. I have no problem with him winning. Bring it, Kevin. I dare you to argue with me.
No, because you guys will just...
No, if you're going to be a fanboy about it, that's just...
Okay, no, that word...
Okay,
no,
you know what?
that is third rail. You were not allowed to say that word on this podcast.
Mark? No.
Yeah, I'll accept that. You're not allowed to drop the F-bomb on this podcast.
Well, fuck.
You can say that all day. I don't care. You can't say the other ones. No, I mean, okay, so the chat says that the Rumble match was bullshit and Dolph or Kofi should have won. I don't know. I have a hard time. Look, I'm a big Cena fan. I like the guy. I think, yeah, his character is what it is. But I mean, come on. You know, this isn't the first time we've seen this kind of character before, and it's not going to be the last. But still, I'm kind of leaning like Dolph really could have used the win. But at the same time, he has the briefcase. So it would have seemed weird for him to win the Rumble.
Unification, man.
Oh, no,
Yes, unify the titles. That's why Dolph was supposed to win. Unify the damn titles.
Eliminate Jericho.
Shut up!
Keep saying unify the titles so we can watch Harrison's head explode.
Shut up! Okay, I have my dog in the room. My dog is scared to death because I'm shouting right now. It's okay, Hershey, relax.
Didn't we have a rule you weren't supposed to have the dogs in the room?
She was having a collar on, and she's so cute. She looked at me so mopey when I was trying to kick her out of the room. She was like, "Oh, I don't want to talk to me."
Should have put on the steel toes.
Yeah, really. All right, so so Cena wins the Rumble. Do you think that having Dolph, really for me it was Ryback, I thought was going to be the big win. Do you think there's a missed opportunity here, or do you think that they are really banking for Rock, Cena, possibly Ryback, the kitchen sink type of match at WrestleMania? I mean, do you think that they want to throw everything at that? Because keep in mind, Rock versus Cena was that WrestleMania last year was like the biggest WrestleMania of all, like the biggest, most profitable, and it still had that year build up. So you think that's what they're kind of banking for on this again?
Sort of. Once before, probably 12 more times. That's how they're going to have to build this one, because never before, never again obviously didn't work too well.
All right,
well, we all know that when any wrestling company says this match will never happen again, they're full of shit. Unless one of the wrestlers dies, it will happen again.
All right, that's a fair point.
Maybe that's what they're going to put on the line.
Till death do us part.
Cena and Rock to the death.
That'd be worth $40. That'd be worth $60. Garth.
Loser leaves Earth match.
I'd pay to see that.
Garth, what do you got?
Well, I just want to clarify, because it's something that we don't consider when we're talking about Cena versus Rock. And the thing is that this actually was built over 2 WrestleManias. If you remember the WrestleMania beforehand, The Rock caused Cena to lose.
Right, to The Miz.
Yeah. So basically, the story is Rock causes Cena to lose at WrestleMania. Then Rock beats Cena the following WrestleMania. This is like basically a long story that obviously we don't actually like, but this is probably one of the better stories that they've created. They just haven't devoted a whole lot of time explaining the entire thing. And I think that's where it really gets lost. And the other thing is that Cena has been so awkward the last 6 months. Like, I don't even think he's trying to be the fan favorite or anything. He's like, look at the promo last Monday. It was so awkward. Like,
yeah,
so terrible.
Yeah,
but I think
he just forgot where he was.
Yeah, I think if they handled that better, and they did tell the story that, you know, or included the idea that Rock caused Cena to lose the title at the previous WrestleMania, I think that would make it a little bit more acceptable overall. But I think that's where they're going.
No, that's an excellent point, Garv. I mean, okay, so does anybody disagree with his viewpoint on that? That maybe if they did bring this out to, this started 2 years ago, not this started a year ago or anything like this. This started with the Rock bottoming Cena and costing him the title or the win. Joe?
Well, I mean, that's fine. They can bring that up, and that maybe they should to fill in more of the story. But the problem is we'll probably end up seeing Cena win this match, and then they're 1 for 1 as far as matches go.
And then there's going to be a rubber match.
There's got to be a rubber match at the following WrestleMania, right? Because you've already done 2 matches at WrestleMania. You got to do the third one at that point.
Hey,
Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania? I could see it.
Finally, never again. Okay, so Cena's de facto opponent at the moment is The Rock, because The Rock beat CM Punk. And the only surprise I have when it comes to this is the fact that the 4 of you thought Punk was going to walk out with the belt at the end of the... What? You think Rock...
How close were we? How close were we with that stupid restart of a match? Because they still didn't prove that the Shield were out there. It was... Well, they probably were out there because somebody was out there. So
close only counts. Joe, close only counts in Nuclear Wars, grenade fights, in grenade fights and horseshoes.
And I've told you people before, I'm contractually obligated to pick Punk to win, being that we're both from Chicago.
Yeah, that means really that means that Brooklyn. I have to vote for every Brooklyn Brawler match that he's supposed to win.
I don't think that's a terrible idea. I'd like you to find a Brooklyn Brawler match that he could possibly do, and then you can predict
he did beat Triple H when Triple H was the heavyweight champion.
In the future, when the Brooklyn Brawler has his upcoming match against
Santino.
Deb, what do you think here? I mean, do you think that, I mean, Rock winning was basically, a given? I mean, how do you feel about the match as a whole? And the fact that now we have, let's be honest, this is a paper champion. This is a guy who is going to be a champion, is not going to defend the belt until, Elimination Chamber. He'll be here for maybe one more segment than it's all video packages. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Yeah, I'm stunned that all of you picked Punk, but, I wasn't here to pick anything and rip you guys for the pick, so, I guess
you've got access to just about every doc, dude. You could still put your predictions in.
Like I said, that's on me. I just wish I would have been here to rip you. I mean, I just don't like this whole thing. That's the biggest problem for me. The whole scenario. I don't like The Rock winning it. I don't like Cena winning the Rumble. We know where it's going, and I agree. It's going to be chest pump and shit talk for the next, 3 months until Mania. It's just, I don't like it. It's been done. I don't think it's a good idea. We didn't like the match the last time it happened on this stage.
Yeah.
I just don't like the whole thing. I'm disappointed. Punk earned the right to be in the main event at WrestleMania. He's probably not going to be now.
Well, no, hang on. We don't know that. I mean,
we don't know that, but signs point that way.
Oh yeah. And really, I think ultimately they know that, and giving The Rock the match against Cena last WrestleMania. Okay, yeah, we'll give you that one. The belt, though, that's one of those things where it's like, look, I think the most telling thing about it was on Raw last night when they were cutting a promo and Punk was calling him out on it and listed his upcoming schedule and said, I'm going to be in this city on Thursday, this city on Friday, this city on Saturday, and then right back here on Monday. Yep. I mean, that says a lot. And This is the fact that Rock is the one holding the belt, and CM Punk, just like everybody else in the back room who wants that strap, they're working the schedule.
And see, that's the only reason why I'm not more pissed off about where this is going, is because it's driving CM Punk's point. Now it looks like CM Punk has a point when he comes on and says, well, because Dwayne kissed his ass, he can go away. He can come into WWE whenever he feels like it and get the belt. Meanwhile, I and everybody else in the back, we have to work our asses off.
Well, it's not that he kisses ass. I mean, Rock's the high school quarterback that's coming back from, to the reunion. I mean, that's basically what he is. I mean, he's in the circle of misfits, he's the one who got the girl.
It's
so
like
he was the high school quarterback, but now he's graduated. Now he's coming back to prom the next year. So now he's big glorious shit, even though really he's the bottom of the barrel everywhere else.
Well, that's exactly okay.
He's still a main draw for movies.
The Tooth Fairy.
Let's not play the metaphor game. Anyway, Kev, go on.
No, he's big. That's the problem. He's bigger than the sport. It's like if Tom Brady retired right now, and then 3 years down the road said, "I'm coming back." You know that he's bigger and better than 95% of the quarterbacks in the NFL. Just because of what he's done. Yeah. Somebody in the chat posted Favre. That's exactly right.
I was going to say, like Brett Favre.
Yeah, but that's exactly it. It's not fair and it's not right, particularly if they want these guys to be looked as legitimate and they're going to be the future. You can't keep doing this and shitting on your wrestlers. It's not a good idea and it's not right.
Yes.
Punk hit it right on the head. These guys work so freaking hard to have him come in and just, take over the show for 3 months when it's the biggest stage. It's not right.
Okay, I want to read some fan reaction. Then we got 2 questions from the fans that I want to kick to you guys. We're going to do it Ask FTW style, so quick answers. Quick jump into Raw. We're going to discuss that a bit, then we're going to move on to TNA just because we're running out of time. All right, so Chad says, and these are all gold. Saying, I want to say it was 3MB that destroyed Dwayne when the lights went out. I would love that. That'd be true.
Yes.
I think all wrestling fans were pissed when The Rock won the title. They should have had Punk win at Rumble and then let Rock take it at Chamber if they wanted to have Rock versus Cena at WrestleMania.
Wait. Let me jump back here. Was that Jill who said that 3MB took out The Rock?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, Jill,
Yeah.
Seriously. DM me on Twitter. I will send you. Give me your address. I will send you a shirt for that one. That's brilliant.
I really want that to happen now. Chet's also saying, I can live with this road to WrestleMania as long as there are no more Rock Cena concerts and rests. They're so terrible. Also saying, Chet saying, look at how Punk is casting his complaints though. The way he's raging about Rock could be turn his back on him just like that. His diatribe doesn't hold water considering the circumstances surrounding his own reign since the heel turn. That is something to be said. The fact that Punk barely defended his title during his 700 days, whatever it was. However,
how much injury?
Injury did stifle him for a little bit. We had that thing with Ryback, but still, he was doing all the tour dates. He was there every week. I mean, he was there when the company needed him to be there. And where was Rock after he beat Cena? He came back for one Raw, like all of us on the show predicted. See ya for another 10 months. And we just never saw him until he decided to come back and want the title. Yeah, you can say the Punk's reign kind of trampled people and stifled a lot of people coming up through the ranks, but he earned his spot there. He earned his spot the old-fashioned way. He worked for it.
I agree. You can make that argument, but I don't think it holds water. And I think the fact that they let him have it for that long was a good idea.
Yeah.
But getting rid of the title and having him drop it the way they did, I don't think is the right move. Drop it to somebody that's on the. If he dropped, even if he dropped, like I'm not a Ryback guy, but if he dropped to Ryback, I understand it. I just dropping it to Rock when he walks in, it's wrong.
Yeah. All right. So Kyle on Facebook wrote in saying, "Would you feel better about the Royal Rumble if Rock had won the Rumble and Cena beat Punk for the title?" Real quick, 30-second answers.
Okay.
Kevin, you want to go?
Yeah, I see where that's coming from. I still don't think it looks better. I don't want The Rock to win it all. But if I had to pick between the two, yeah, I think that's actually a better idea. Because that can set up the feud. You could have had some controversy for Punk dropping it. Yeah, so I'm fine with that.
Okay, cool. Rob?
if you absolutely positively need to put Rock in the WrestleMania title picture, have him win the Royal Rumble. Cena and Punk both work for a living. They both have earned their spot.
Okay. Joe, what do you think?
No, Rock winning the title. I mean, I'd rather have Rock do it have him do it the way they did it. Rock winning the Rumble, than Cena beating Punk. I don't see where the path would have went. Cena's had too many shots at Punk already. It was a waste.
Okay. Also want to get a quick shout out to on Twitter, saying, I'm still uncontrollably crying over CM Punk losing. What do I do? Well, you console yourself in the fact that it's not the worst thing that ever happened in Chicago. That would be the Cubs and deep dish pizza. We're gonna drive right into Raw.
You
got one of the two right. That would be the Cubs.
Fuck.
It's
Fuck
gonna
you
be
too,
another
Kevin.
banner year on the
hell with
doorstep
you
while my
too.
Reds kick your ass.
We'll see how much ass your Reds kick this year.
Okay, no
we will.
baseball, no, no, we're not gonna wind you guys up on baseball and hockey. You took up entirely too much of the pre-show with that.
Hey, you started it, Harrison. Just remember
I
that.
took a
You started
shot
it.
I took.
And
I don't know.
You took a shot in a completely legitimate one. Well played.
It was not legitimate.
That was a little legitimate, Rob. Look,
You opened the door was open. He took the shot.
yeah, come on. It was a kick to the nuts, but it was still a kick. All right. Chat saying, Rob, there's no way to defend the Cubs ever. Yeah. Okay. Jumping into Raw.
I hate all of you.
So Raw itself, coming out of the Royal Rumble, is there anything on here that anybody wants to talk about besides the return of Brock Lesnar and the fact that Paul Heyman maybe is going to get fired?
Well, he's not going to get fired now. Vince never said the word fired.
Oh yeah.
So he's going to stick around for at least another month.
Okay.
But I like the Heyman family idea that's kicking around. Don't know where that puts Brad Maddox.
That's a really good point.
Especially because he shows up all the time, still doesn't have a contract.
Yeah. Well, he's still kicking around FCW, I think.
Well, he's been
or
on
NXT or whatever it is now.
He's still popping around, but
yeah. All right. Well, the other thing is Bo Dallas. So Bo Dallas is an NXT talent from the Developmental League. Came up, did the Rumble, did really well in the Rumble. Beat Wade Barrett on Raw. So, how about this as the idea of this is the next up-and-comer for WWE? Do you think it's deserved?
Yeah, I think so. Deserved, I don't know, but he looked good in the Rumble. He did some good things, and props to Barrett for wanting to put him over. I guess it's a situation if Barrett was in that position, knows how difficult it can be, and they see a guy with some talent. So, to have an NXT guy eliminate anybody in the Rumble, to me, says they think they at least have something they can work with here. So,
it was like the return of Maven versus Taker. You remember that? When Maven drop kicked Taker when he was doing the American Badass gimmick, just popped him right on out of the ring. That was awesome. I think though that Bo Dallas needs to team with Ted DiBiase. And we could have IRS, the next generation. Or not IRS, but Money Inc. the next generation.
Yeah, Money Inc., yeah.
Yeah, because Bo Dallas is IRS's son.
That's right.
For those who are not aware of that.
Huh. Good for him. All right. So the other things that basically Dolph Ziggler and Jericho now having a decent feud. This is going to be a rehash of what we saw before. But going forward, do you see Jericho possibly kicking around for a while, maybe helping out? Maybe this is going to be the thing that catapults Dolph Ziggler to the next level, or is this going to be another one of those things where we're excited for it at first, and then our excitement slowly starts to die like a car running out of gas?
I'm hoping it's not the latter, because both these guys can really work. If you're going to give them some time, if you're going to take them all the way to WrestleMania, that would be brilliant. Yeah, I think they're really going to give us some money's worth on that one. But as long as they're not going to have Jericho get on the mic and not say a damn thing.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
Okay, so the rumor is that he's only signed to WrestleMania. The rumors also suggest that either Dolph versus Jericho or Ryback versus Jericho ends up happening.
I would love to see
WrestleMania.
Dolph versus Ziggler. That would be awesome.
Dolph versus
Can you mention
Jericho.
2 Zigglers?
That would be
Oh, man,
so
Amy-
much.
Amy Schumer would have been happy.
All right, so we have the return of Brock Lesnar. The implications going forward abound, but probably the big one is you have 2, really, I think, main theories when it comes to Brock Lesnar. That is, 1, he's going to be in some kind of 3 or 4-way match with Punk, Rock, and Cena for the title, or, like the crowd was chanting, Triple H.
No. See, I see Brock versus Ryback at Mania.
Okay, so that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah,
one, too.
I did too.
Okay.
I mean,
Triple H wouldn't surprise me.
I don't want to see Triple H.
I don't either.
What?
And that's coming from
believe it or
Triple H,
not,
right?
I don't want to see. Yeah, believe it or not, I do not want to see Brock and Triple H.
Who are you and what have you done with Kevin?
Yes, as much as the entire audience and for sure my fellow
Triple H
Patriots
files?
might be flatlining right now. I do not want to see that match. I don't think it would be very good. But Brock and Ryback, that would be Davey Boy Smith Warlord-esque. I mean, I'm going way back there, but that's the kind of thing they put together, for 2 guys that were just absolute beaters. I think that's a good idea, and I would think, I bet Ryback would job it, but even still, I'd put that together. I think that's gold, particularly with where Ryback's at and the momentum he has.
Okay. Final thoughts on Raw before we take the one big heat, because we got to. Any final thoughts on Raw before we basically bash it to hell for what it was? Okay, so we got to be honest. That was the worst Raw in a while. Raw Roulette. I mean, was that like the worst gimmick they could come up with? I mean, we had Khali singing, Tensai and lingerie was terrible. I can't imagine a show that was more unwatchable than that one was. It was just it was a scripted train wreck, and it's still a train wreck. Garv, what do you think?
Yes. However, it was also the highest rated Raw since Raw 1000 and the highest rated Raw since the 3-hour change.
Wow.
So,
Do you think that's more down to The Rock?
I think it's everything.
It's got to be The Rock.
Yeah, I mean,
It sure is telling Brock Lesnar.
Well, yeah, it's Rock,
that was a
for
surprise.
sure, but at the same time, I mean, Raw Roulette, let's be honest, when has there really ever been a solid Raw Roulette from beginning to end? It's always been a lot of jokey stuff. So it's a throwaway Raw, to give some of their guys a break before, the Elimination Chamber, which is in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's like coming up quick.
Yeah.
Anyway, Michael wrote into us via email saying, wanted to know if we thought that Raw, I'm just going to say the 3-hour Raw, essentially jumped the shark with the Raw Roulette episode. With Khali's dancing, Tensai lingerie. His high points were, like we discussed, Bo Dallas, Paul Heyman and the Brad Maddox thing, and then he liked how Heyman had Maddox essentially whacked by the Shield, which was pretty cool, and the return of Brock Lesnar. Also talk of Heyman as a Shield. I mean, do you think this is like, I don't want to say the straw that broke the camel's back, but it's definitely, this has got to be the lowest point as far as product, right? Joe?
Michael
Lowest for
McGillicuddy.
product.
Take it back,
We're moving
baby.
on. We're moving on.
Move on. Just move on.
goddamn thing you could say that would top that, Kevin. Quality work.
I am to please.
All right, so we're just gonna dive right in. Chad also saying I never felt more sick than watching Tensai on Monday. Okay, so we got topics coming up. We did a quick poll. So we got WrestleMania coming up. We got the Elimination Chamber coming up with, stipulations of what we think is coming up. We'll discuss that more next week. I do want to do a quick shout out. We have our Facebook and we also have our Google Plus group. Has over 1,000 community members. I think that's what they're called. On our Google Plus group, definitely check it out. We have links on our website. It's a phenomenal community that Garvin put together. So what we did is we asked what you would rather see WWE do. God damn it. Unify the WWE and world titles so that there are less titles, or bring back a retired title like lightweight, European, featherweight, cruiserweight, whatever, so that there are more titles. Most people actually said bring back an actual old title. It seemed like people skewed a little bit less towards actually having less titles. Kevin wrote in, not our Kevin, said, can you have both in some way? Not necessarily more titles, but unify the world and WWE titles, and then actually bring back the cruiserweight to do that. And Juliet, who was our guest from Saturday, said, why can't we just get rid of the Intercontinental and U.S. Championship?
No way.
That's ridiculous.
I see
Really?
the U.S. I mean, you unify the world titles, and then you get rid of the U.S. title.
I don't have
unify it with the Intercontinental. Intercontinental's got way too much history.
Yes, but I don't have a problem with keeping two. I don't have a problem with keeping the two mid-card titles. I think that is necessary and it pushes angles more. Unifying the world title is way overdue. But
yeah, I disagree. I think having a little bit of diversity is there, especially now that we're filling out 80 hours of programming every week. I like having. I mean, if you have to, I hate this topic. I hate this topic so much. But if you have to unify, I would rather you unify the belts and keep the Intercontinental and US. I can see where Juliet's coming from, and that they're really kind of a joke title. Yeah, the Intercontinental has great prestige that no one gives two shits about that work in that company. But the fact is, it does build up talent. I mean, where would Cesaro be right now if he did not have the U.S. Championship? Nowhere.
Yeah. And he's playing it very well with the angle he's doing.
These mid-card belts are great for faces to fight for and for heels to use to get the crowd to hate them, because they can say, I'm such a dick, yet I'm your champion in this inconsequential, division. But there you go. And I think it really helps heels build really more than faces, in my opinion. So having those. But the cruiserweight belt, I don't know, because I don't think WWE really wants to back a cruiserweight type division. That's more of an X division type of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, they've never really been interested in that. I mean, they did the light heavyweight title for a while, and it just died out. I mean, they mainly did it to rival TNA because they thought of it first. Or not TNA, WCW, sorry.
Yeah, it was mostly that. It was just a reaction to that. It wasn't really anything they wanted to put any weight behind. All right, so that is WWE. Let's jump over into TNA. Rob, so last week when we talked about TNA, we talked about the idea of Taz being a member of Aces and Eights and the implications of what that would be for future impacts and the future. And the answer we got from TNA is not much different.
Yeah. And I was so excited going into this Impact. I was so excited that there were so many things they could do, and TNA decided that what they were going to do was take a hammer and slowly break apart all of my ideas and all of my hopes, and then Jeff Hardy came and pissed on the pieces.
Oh, that's harsh. You can't just lay that entirely at his feet. The King versus Daniels isn't over.
My hatred for Jeff Hardy being what it is.
Yeah. Let's be clear. We can lay everything at Jeff Hardy's feet.
Oh, Kevin, not you two.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you.
You guys will unify on baseball, but you'll unify your hatred of hate. I'm sorry,
yeah,
go on, Joe?
Jeff Jarrett too. That's a good one, Joe.
Yeah, okay. So we can do that as well. I agree.
I'll give you that one. I like that you guys can't agree on anything regarding hockey or baseball, but you'll hate on Hardy all day.
Damn right we will.
All right, so the big things for me, besides the fact that Zema Ion looking pretty good, Hardy and Daniels, awesome match. Was not expecting that, mostly because Daniels wasn't fighting somebody named AJ, and Hardy, he seemed kind of rickety these past few times he's been on camera, but that was solid. I mean, they missed a few things, and it got kind of weird, and the interference with Kaz I did not like at all. But Rob, I mean, what do you think about that, man? It was honestly a pretty good match, right? I mean, I know you hate Hardy, but
yeah, the match itself was really good. I mean, and I like the fact that, and Tenay did a good job of pointing out Daniels' history, the fact that Daniels has held just about every title in TNA except the world title.
Yeah, I like that build a lot.
And that combined with how the match was going gave you the hope that, hey, maybe he just might come out and win. That we could see the role. I mean, the role continue. I mean, with how Daniels has been going lately, it became very, very feasible that he could walk out of Impact with the world title.
Yes. Yeah, there were a couple points during the match I thought, holy crap, they're going to pull this off. I mean, because...
like you, I did not like Taz getting involved at all. That was just...
Yeah, it weakens Daniels to me. It really does. I thought at that moment, Daniels really made... I don't know what it is, but it's Daniels has always been suffering from the upper mid-card syndrome. You know, he doesn't have that extra bit that will take him to, oh yeah, this guy is just on the same par as Rude and, well, I guess you could say Aries at this point. Hardy, those guys. For whatever reason, I saw glimpses of it on Thursday. I saw this guy, he's got it. It's there. It's almost there. And then Kaz interferes, and it's like, oh, why would you do that? I mean... Yeah.
I mean, I have not seen Christopher Daniels at this level since...
Well, one of the last times he fought AJ. I mean, let's be honest.
well, outside of the last time he was with AJ, the last time I could really see AJ, or I can really remember Christopher Daniels elevating his game as much as he did was, like way back in 2005, when he was taking on AJ Styles in an Iron Man match.
Yeah, this was quality work from Daniels. All right. So, enough praise that we can leap on this guy. We got to talk about it. So, Taz is a member of Aces and Eights. Apparently, there's some kind of higher power, which they allude to that being a person of some kind. Garv, I mean, okay, so the question I want to ask is, now we have Taz as a heel announcer, and we have this angle of the higher power thing. I mean, how do you think about this whole development with Taz on commentary as a heel with Aces and Eights, this higher power? Which, just set off weird alarm bells in my head when they say that. Garv, what do you think about it?
Well, first of all, it's Teflon Taz now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Teflon Taz, yes.
God.
It's not the worst thing in the world.
Stupid. Even members of Aces and Eights started shaking their heads when he said that. I mean, even a couple of Aces and Eights were like, Jesus Christ, we don't believe you just said that.
It's like, we're not calling you that.
Second of all, I'm really okay with this. I think this is a good step in the right direction. It's not the shot in the arm as some would suggest, but it is.
That was me. I suggested that. Me.
But what he does add is...
I'll walk it back.
What Taz does add is a good, solid voice behind the group. He's not that star power at the end. He's not the guy who could actually contend for the world title, which they need. But he is a guy that can be a strong heel voice for Aces and Eights, which they don't have. I mean, let's be honest. Devon is a horrible heel. He's horrible in this role.
He really is.
And, I like Devon as a wrestler. I think he adds a good thing to Aces and Eights as far as, a veteran presence who's a quality wrestler. But overall, you need a guy on the mic, and Taz is great, and he can push it the entire show and throw, he can throw sticks in the wheel of just about every single match to get you thinking that maybe Aces and Eights is a bigger deal than what we're considering it is, previously.
Okay. Rob, I want to go to you for a response, and then I have one thing I want to throw out to you guys and get your response on this, because it's basically exactly in line with this. Rob, what do you think about what Garvin said?
I think Garvin has a lot of points. I mean, Devon as a heel is basically coming out, getting cheap heat. I don't like you. You're idiots. I'm a dick. That's pretty much Devon as a heel. Mr. Anderson and Taz, these guys have spent a lot of time in a heel role. They're both pretty good on the mic. The problem with Mr. Anderson, as Garvin has pointed out in the past, is that he has a habit of his promos sounding the same, basically the same thing over and over again with little variation. Taz is much different. He can deliver different kinds of promos, and from his spot as a commentator, like Garvin said, he can push the idea that Aces and Eights is a bigger deal than they are. He can really push them as heels the entire show.
Okay, excellent points. However,
and I better watch it. I better not go after Taz too quickly because he's freaking bulletproof and he might sue me.
Teflon Taz. All right, guys, excellent points. You bring up really, really good arguments. However, the one stick I got to stick in your spokes is NWO.
Yeah,
did this already and it sucked. What's different
that's
now?
what worries me about this higher power crap.
It's getting so much more like this, so much more like it was, and that just went off the rails because, the kids got to run the daycare, and that was the mistake. So what's different now? Do you think they learned their lesson with that, or do you think this is more of a no? This time it'll be different. We're just going to do it exactly the same way.
Well, it's not directly involving guys who are in power backstage. I mean, they might be behind the masks, but, the thing that separates it from, an NWO type thing is Bischoff and Hogan are only rumored to be involved. Otherwise, they are it's only an on-air character. I don't think it's dipping into the backstage part. If it was, then they would be doing a lot better. They would actually win at pay-per-views and win solid matches, and thus far they haven't. Unless you want to consider Joseph Park a solid opponent, Rob.
Okay, you know what?
Hey, he took a shot at me for the shot in the arm remark that I'm going to walk back and say it really hasn't been. Rob, what do you have to say to that, to the NWO thing? I mean, you with Garvin on this one, saying that it's different because people are different?
All of the talk about a higher power does kind of make me nervous. That's almost verbatim language that was used for the NWO.
Right.
As we've pointed out, Hogan is an ex-NWO guy. Bischoff is an ex-NWO guy. There's a lot of former WCW type talent. It's just really, really bad. I mean, there are times where Aces and Eights almost seems like TNA has a good plan and like this might actually get an interesting storyline. And then it takes a turn and it looks kind of like the ECW, WCW invasion angle that WWE ran that was completely shit.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, Rob. It's like there are a lot of dangerous ground that they keep skirting entirely too close to.
Come on, Rob. The WCW invasion wasn't all that bad. I mean, come on. Who better than Canyon?
Who better?
Anybody who still draws breath.
All right. So
and a whole bunch of people that don't draw breath.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for being willing to go to the area that I was not willing to dip into.
Oh, I'm a horrible person. What can I say?
So Nick wrote in basically right along this line, said, unless Bully Ray turns out to be affiliated with Aces and Eights or turns his back on TNA, etc. And some suggest Aces and Eights really doesn't have a guy with the clout to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship. To that end, I think TNA will sign someone to put them in that spot, not necessarily to win the belt on arrival, just to be in the title picture. If you had to pick some guys, ex-WWE or ex-TNA or anything like that you could see filling that role for Aces and Eights to be their main event guy, or someone who's like, maybe if you can't think of anybody outside TNA, who would you turn in TNA to give them that spot? Garth?
Well, I just want to throw out, just one note. I mean, Anderson is in Aces and Eights now. He's a former world champion. I know why I don't like Anderson and don't, consider him a title contender, but I'm surprised no one else is. Like, why wouldn't Anderson be that top guy? Is everyone agreeing with me?
I was about ready to ask where the fuck has Anderson been? So,
well, it's not so much that he has been, but he hasn't really been in that title picture in a very long time.
But maybe that works to his advantage,
that's a good point.
I mean, if you could just throw Jeff Hardy in there, you could pretty much surely throw Anderson in there.
Hey, Jeff Hardy's got an album. If Anderson releases an album, we could probably throw him in the World Heavyweight Championship.
Is that what it takes to get to the top in TNA?
Apparently,
you gotta have an album?
You gotta have an album. Well, to endear yourself to Rob, it sure is, right, Rob?
To all FTW listeners. Feel free to donate to the FTW podcast, and I will listen to that crap fest known as the Jeff Hardy album.
You can listen to it for free on Spotify, man.
Well, it's not
I'm
free.
too lazy to do that. I need $9.95. I will download the album, then I will listen. I am not going to actively.
Wait a minute. You're not going to get it for free? You're going to give Jeff Hardy money?
He still gets a cut.
That's kind of a good point.
He still gets a cut if you listen to it on Spotify. Not
Yeah, but he gets a lot less.
well, not as much as whatever.
I hate to think Joe might have a point. Nix the donations. I'll actually use my own free time so Jeff Hardy doesn't make as much money.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Quick correction: don't nix the donations. You can still donate.
Yeah. You can still, yeah.
Fair enough.
We love your money. Keep it coming. Chad saying Anderson's album just consists of all the ways he said his name during his entrance. So it's like a Kid Rock album. He's just saying his name over and over and over again.
Yeah, all Kid Rock does is say Kid Rock, Forever, and what's the other one? And Cowboy.
And Cowboy. There you go. All right. So Rob, what about? I mean, do you think Anderson could fill that role, or do you got somebody else in mind?
Given the current layout of TNA right now, I would turn to Anderson. If I wanted to get really adventurous, I would throw Austin Aries in with Aces and Eights. He's got a beef with Hogan. He's the perfect guy for them to come and say, "Hey, look, Hogan threw you to us. You know, he threw you to the wolves, and what did he do? He didn't have your back. Run with us. We've got your back."
What about Knobs and Sags?
No.
Wow.
All right. So, all right, that's a fair point. Austin Aries would be interesting turn. I don't know if I really like it. I like Austin Aries kind of bucking the system and going on his own. I mean, I think that kind of works. I think it would ding him a little bit too. I don't want to say ding him, maybe slow him down too much, because then you'd wrap him up in that storyline, as opposed to having to do his own.
Yeah, that's why I said really adventurous, because it's definitely a big risk scenario.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've gone on record, I'm never a big fan of these giant storylines, because what it does is it's like a vacuum. It just sucks up all these other little storylines these guys could be doing, and it just has to put it under the same umbrella of NWO, Aces and Eights, Invasion, whatever you want to call it, and it really kind of slows down the advancement of a lot of guys. All right. Well, AJ Styles? Do we really want to entertain that one?
No.
What else he got going?
He sucks as a heel, though.
Oh, yeah, he does.
AJ Styles.
Oh, come on. Bring back Tyson Tomko and you're good to go.
AJ Styles is god-awful as a heel.
Yeah, he's terrible as a heel.
Wasn't it Tyson Tomko?
That's really the only thing that has me nixing the idea of AJ Styles is he's really hard to believe as a heel.
Okay. All right, so we got some questions from you guys. Apparently Kid Cash was released. Anybody really care? I don't. Well, X Division kind of hurts without him, but obviously he wasn't really doing much. We also asked everyone if Velvet Sky was the future of the Knockouts, the series future of the Knockouts. Nick said, I like to think so, but it seems weird that she's getting these title shots and basically doesn't really capitalize on them, and doesn't understand why Tara's the championship. I mean, Tara's still the champion. If TNA's not going to give it to Tara, or not going to have Velvet knock Tara off her pedestal, there's really a short list of names that you could use that haven't also held the belt, you know? The other idea is, maybe bring Taylor Hendricks up, get some good matches in, take the belt.
Why would you do that? She's terrible.
Taylor Hendricks?
Yeah.
Okay. Rob, I mean, do you think Taylor is bad, or do you think she might have something she could put together in TNA?
She's much better than Miss Testmacher was when Testmacher won the Knockouts title for the first time.
I wouldn't go that far.
I would.
That gut check match was terrible.
And how long ago was that gut check match?
Yeah, but how
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
But, all right. Yeah, I guess we could say that. Anyway.
I still think TNA should go get Alicia Fox to be better than Taylor Hendricks.
Anyway, point being, and Mick Brads also wrote it, my favorite #1 fan, said that he finds it funny that before Hogan came into TNA, you had, and this is actually a pretty startling statistic, you basically had 2 knockout feuds, plus 2 division feuds, 2 tag team feuds, as well as their main event feuds. And it could all fit in a 2-hour show, and they had an amazing roster. Now we don't even get half of that. So the question is, I mean, Velvet Sky, who I'm an immense fan of. Sorry, every time never mind. Anyway, I'm not gonna pull a show. Anyway, huge fan of Velvet Sky. So, does anybody else think she's the future of the Knockouts? I think she's someone you can build a division on with a few other people, but the future though, Garvin.
We do agree that she's been awful since she came back, right? I mean, you guys are watching.
Well,
the same
that's because Taz will not let her let the pigeons loose. They're all jumbled up in there, and they're restricting her movement.
That is weird. Heel Taz does not mention the pigeons. Face Taz does. Heel Taz does not. These past few, since she's come back, she has been terrible. It's just my rose-colored glasses, I guess you could say. Rob, okay, so Velvet Sky. If not her, then who?
I think Velvet Sky. I think you've got to go with Velvet Sky. I mean, TNA went through a series of long and very in-depth talks to get her back. They jumped through a lot of hoops to get her back. They were very excited about getting her back in TNA. So I think they have to give it to her sometime, but sometime has to be sooner rather than later, because every time you give her a title shot and she fails to cash in, you're hurting her credibility as a wrestler.
Okay.
Rob, let me ask you one question here. When Mickie James joined TNA, how bad do you think they hurt her credibility? Because they did the exact same thing. She had like 12 title shots and lost like 13 of them.
Well, she didn't have much credibility to begin with when she came into TNA, thanks to what WWE did to her.
Are you kidding me? She had a shit ton of credibility.
Yeah, I gotta disagree.
You might not have liked the storyline that she was in, but damn, she was still on top of her game.
Yeah.
In the ring.
Huge crowd pop when she first came on the stage.
Yeah. But at the same point in time, like I said, how she left and the term she left WWE by really kind of screwed up her character. It was the same thing for Tara. WWE fucked her over. Gail Kim, another person. WWE.
But those were all, their contracts ran out. It wasn't like.
Yes, but the point is, the way WWE runs women's wrestling, they had very little credibility when they left the company because of what WWE wanted. Gail Kim got injured during a fucking pillow fight.
Gail Kim also left the ring in a battle royal on her own without being eliminated and just walked to the back.
Because
that's
she
hurting
was
your own
told
credibility.
not to be in there long. She's a good worker. She said, screw this.
That's not a good
I have
worker
to leave
when
the
nobody
ring.
touches you when you eliminate yourself.
No, I'm sorry. That is not a good worker. If you want to do something like that, you take it up backstage. You don't do that.
You just run. I mean, go ahead and run into the back of somebody, then stumble backwards and fall over the top rope. That's fine. At least you got hit somehow to eliminate yourself, as opposed to, fuck it, I'm out.
All right, Garv, what do you got?
Well, first, we can't blame WWE for Gail Kim getting injured in a pillow fight. That's all on Gail. The second thing is...
Or whatever was in the pillow.
Yeah, the second thing is, at this point...
Double donger.
Consistently, Miss Tessmacher is better than Velvet Sky. Right now. Okay? So I would pick Tessmacher over Velvet Sky. But the name that I want to see pushed, and I think can be the future of TNA's Knockouts division, if they use her properly, is ODB.
Yes! Thank you, Garvin. Yes, I'm 100% behind that. I cannot think, especially with Tara being champion, a more anti-Tara than ODB right now. And she is electric. She is scary as hell, but she is electric.
It's part of the reason I don't want to push her.
Why not?
You never know what the hell she's gonna do.
Okay, that is true. Yes, she is kind of a wild card, but still.
That's all character. Everything. Come on.
Fine. Okay, fine. Fair point. But how much of ODB is truly character? We've said in the past that if there was a female wrestler that we would want to drink with, it would be ODB, because we know some shit's going down.
Between her and Karma.
Yeah, you're not going to sit around talking about, you're not going to be sitting there playing bridge, that's for sure. Rob, what do you think about that? ODB, real quick before we move on.
No. I don't know if I would make ODB the lead of the Knockouts division. I definitely have her play a big part in it. I would definitely have her play a big part, but the lead, no.
Okay, how about this one? Chat just threw it out there. I love it even more than Garvin's suggestion. ODB in Aces and Eights, then win the strap.
After they crippled her husband, she has no reason to join.
No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If ODB joins Aces and Eights, Eric Young is soon to follow. You will then destroy anything with the angle because once you get Eric Young involved, unfortunately, any angle he gets into goes to shit.
It does get kind of goofy, but Eric Young isn't in TNA right now. He's never on.
Well, actually,
I like ODB being in Aces and Eights. I think she's got the look already. Just throw a cut on her and have her talking about her old lady or whatever. I think it'd be awesome. I love it, chat. I love that idea.
There is an angle you could do to get Eric Young involved in Aces and Eights that would be believable. You have him pissed off at having to be a joke at TNA, not using him properly. He could team up with ODB and get into Aces and Eights, but now we're getting into way abstract territory.
ODB orchestrated the hit to get out of her marriage. Wow. See, this is writing itself right here. This is awesome. And Eric Young with credibility. Yeah, because Eric Young, he is talented. I mean, he can do it.
He's very talented.
Yeah, usually the guys who can play those goofy characters are some of the best workers in the ring, just because they have to be able to do the job and then make it look humorous at the same time. All right. So, moving on. TNA is taping 4 weeks worth of Impact in the UK, and there are a lot of these events. A lot of these events are getting spoiled. On top of that, these special events, pay-per-views, not the big 4 that we have coming up. These are all being taped months in advance. Do you think that TNA is actually being hurt by this? We're going to do this real quick, and then we're going to move on. Rob, what do you think?
No. Spoilers happen all the time. Doesn't really help, or it doesn't really hurt the company. Most people will tune in anyways just to see exactly how things play down, if the spoilers are right, because, sometimes you read spoilers and, hey, it turns out they missed something.
Okay. Kev, do you have an opinion on this one?
I mean, going live is always best, but TNA hasn't done, TNA has always taped their shows, and people are still watching. So I don't think it hurts them too much. Would it be better live? Sure, but it is what it is, and I don't think it's going to be all that bad, except that Jeff Hardy doesn't have his visa, which should make more viewers tune in. So
yeah, 4 weeks with no Jeff Hardy.
Yes,
it's fun to watch TNA, man.
It's like a TNA miracle.
Christmas came late this year. All right, Garth.
Well, don't forget that they could still do the backstage "I'm talking to myself" promos from Hardy.
Don't ruin our hope.
Garvin, why are you spoiling our dreams? Come on.
Come on, Garvin. That doesn't score any points, so he's not even going to do that. He's not going to score me anything in the FTW draft. We'll just air a previously recorded match. Yeah, that would work.
Oh, that'd be awful.
Yeah, as far as
crowd looks completely different.
As far as if it hurts TNA, I think it could. I mean, TNA overall has got a bigger backing, at least on Twitter. We've seen it on Facebook, people talking to us, and even on YouTube. I mean, so I think it could hurt because it could deter some of the viewing. I mean, like a lot of these new viewers were coming in after the live period, so it could hurt. I hope it doesn't, though.
See, the thing is, I don't think it's going to hurt them. I think it's just going to slow down any momentum that they might be building in the beginning of the year, which I do want to say, chat brought up a really good point. This was easy to say the worst impact so far in 2013, and yeah, this was the worst impact so far. Granted, we've only had 3, but it was still terrible. This is going to, any momentum that they really could have had or build to kind of lead off really strong in the beginning of the year, I think that's going to hurt them a little bit, being taped so far in advance. I mean, if it was time shifted, that'd be different, or if, it was taped, but it was taped earlier that day, and then it was released, because they can't give up the time slot, and there's no way they're not going to do a show at 3 a.m. in Wembley. I mean, that's not going to happen. So, if it had to be time shifted, like the Olympics, it's not the worst thing in the world, but taped this far in advance, I don't know. I don't know about that, especially with the the special pay-per-views. I really would love to see those live. I think those would be a much better draw live. All right. So that was your TNA Week in Review. And now it's time for Ask FTW. You ask, we answer. You can send us topics to talk about via email to questions@ftwpodcast.com. On Twitter by DMing us at FTW Podcast using the hashtag AskFTW. You can also post on our Facebook wall in our G Plus community. You can leave a comment on the site. There's a million different ways to do it. You have no excuse not to be heard. First up on the docket is Nick on Facebook said, who would you believe to be the man to take the belt away from Hardy? Rob.
I'm going to go with Austin Aries.
Any particular reason why, or you think he's just the biggest name?
You need a heel. So that really brings it down to Austin Aries or Bobby Roode. And I think TNA is favoring Austin Aries just a little bit more at this point.
Okay. Kevin?
Yeah, I tend to agree. Austin Aries makes sense. Roode had it for so long. Do you really want to give it back to him at this point? I'll take anybody but Hardy, but I will always take anybody but Hardy. I still think Anderson makes a lot of sense. He made a great heel as the anti-hero role. I think Anderson makes a lot of sense, but I think in the end, at least at this point, yeah, they'll probably go with Austin Aries.
All right. Joe, what do you think?
I think they're going to go with Daniels. I like the idea of Daniels, and really, he's been with the company for how long? It's about time.
Right. That's
excellent.
a good call, too.
Garvin, you want to weigh in?
Yeah, I still think it's months and months and months away, but Bully Ray.
Ooh, good one, too.
I still gotta like Daniels. I like Daniels a lot. I think, you know what, let's roll the dice and see what he can do with that slot and see what he can make with it.
He deserves it, that's for sure.
Yeah, so is Bully Ray, though. Bully Ray's been on a tear.
Yeah, no argument there either.
I mean, I see Bully Ray pulling it off of Daniels.
Yeah. Yeah, that could work. I mean, keep in mind, I'm not saying Daniels is going to hold it for months. I'm just saying, give him the belt, see what he can do with maybe, a pay-per-view cycle is now 3 months, but if you see what he can do with like 6 or 7 weeks with the crowd, and if you can get him behind him. I was going
to say, I would love to see Daniels beat Hardy and then make his own version of the title with some Crayola crayons and some construction paper.
Looks like something a prison inmate would make. Chad's saying either Styles or Hulk Hogan, brother. And we talked about this before. Chad's agreeing with us. But yeah, Hulk Hogan, I know there's a lot of hate on the idea of Hulk Hogan. I just want to say this one more time. If he does do it, I really don't think he's cynical enough to say, I'm doing it for me. I think he would do it because he thinks it's the best thing for the company. Bischoff would do it for himself. But I really believe if Hogan does it, he genuinely believes that it's the best thing for the company.
Yeah, he also believes rubbing his daughter's inner thigh isn't a bad thing. And it's not to anybody who's not her father.
Joe, these are mutually exclusive. Creepy as that is, they're mutually. Or when he flashes his dick.
I'm just saying, hey, he's crazy enough to think that one is a good idea. He probably thinks the other one's a good idea too.
Yeah, that's a fair point. All right. Chris on Facebook basically said that Brian Cage deserves a roster spot. Do you agree? If you remember, this is Brian Cage was the other guy in the last gut check round where the crowd just absolutely universally hated him. Well, he hated him like a heel, but he still did a pretty good match. Rob, do you think that he deserves a roster spot?
I wouldn't give him a roster spot in TNA, but I would definitely consider signing him and sending him to OVW.
So basically what every gut check has been so far this the same time.
Pretty much, yeah. With the exception of like Christian York and Joey Ryan.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's fair. Kevin? Uh-oh. I think Kevin's half in the bag already. Garv?
Well, the thing is I think overall they made the right decision pushing Bradley. I know it's being said in the live chat, the crowd hated Bradley, they cheered Cage, but I think that's one and the same.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I think that's one and the same.
But after Bradley was picked, the crowd got behind and cheered Bradley too. So both of them got cheers.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had them mixed up. My bad. Oh, no, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, go on, Garv.
thanks, Rob, for interrupting. But yeah, overall,
Sorry.
Well, I interrupted too.
I'm used to
See,
it anyway.
I did it again. Where's my sarcastic apology? Where's my passive aggressive attack?
Michael McGillicuddy.
He's just ignoring you. That's what it
I'm
is.
just gonna pout. I'm just gonna sit here and pout until you snipe at me like you did Rob.
All right, Harrison's a cock. So here's the deal. Overall, I think it was more or less the crowd was booing Bradley. It wasn't that they were cheering Cage. It's just that Bradley was so awesomely connected with the crowd that they wanted to boo him and cheer. I don't think it even mattered who they were cheering because Cage just looked awful. I mean, honestly, he did. He might be great in the indies. He might be a guy that you might want to put in OVW eventually, but overall, in that match, that's all we have to judge by. Bradley was the better guy, and I don't want to see Cage again.
Okay, I do want to make a mistake. I thought it was Cage that had the crowd healed behind him and not Bradley. It's just the names I had mixed up. I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe kick him to OVW. I mean, the crowd was behind that match, and Cage did a good job of playing the face character and really got the crowd to hate Bradley. I would say that would be more Bradley than really Cage, but still. I don't know. Maybe kick him to OVW, see what he does. Just put him in OVW as a developmental contract. I mean, I don't see why you have to throw away someone like that just because you had to pick one or the other. I wouldn't make it public. I wouldn't be like, hey, we're going to sign, Brian Cage to the contract. Just, quietly slip him a contract under the hotel door and see if he shows up the next day. I don't know. That's how I imagine this works. Kyle on Facebook said, in an interview with, he believes PW Insider, Kurt Angle, I love these stories. Kurt Angle revealed that he is planning to retire in 3 years. Sidebar, I do not believe he's going to last 3 years, but there you go. That's only moderately interesting. But what's really interesting is his breakdown of those 3 years. He says he still has 2 years left at Impact and what he calls a, quote, retirement year. Kyle wants to know if he's alone in reading that that's a possible final run in WWE, and that's kind of exciting. Kevin, what do you think? Kurt Angle. Oh, I'm going.
No, I don't think you're alone at all. He's hinted at the fact could he be up for coming back. It's definitely a possibility. The guy's on his last legs. He's got nothing else to prove. He's one of the greats of all time. No, but I think you're right. I'm not saying it happens. And a lot of his best years were in TNA, so I'm not saying it's even necessary. But it's definitely a possibility. He's hinted at it. He could go back. He could be one of the biggest stars as soon as he gets back in there, regardless of how long he's been gone. So, yeah, I don't think it's a possibility, and I think it could happen.
Okay. Rob?
Well, first of all, Harrison, he's cyborg, so he could last another 3 years. Outside of that, these stories keep cropping up all the time. But if this were true and panning out, I could see him do 2 years at Impact, maybe come to the WWE and sign a Legends contract, get inducted to the Hall of Fame, that sort of thing. I think that's what he'd be hinting at as a retirement year.
Okay. Joe?
Angle retiring 3 years? Oh, I totally see it. The retirement year, love it. I do think it's a run at WWE just so he can get in the Hall of Fame because really, let's not pull any punches here. If you're going to get into a wrestling Hall of Fame, you can take all these other Hall of Fames and put them aside because the WWE Hall of Fame is the one to be in. It's the top echelon. Yeah. So I definitely see him doing exactly what's been said.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll get another King of the Ring match between him and Shane O'Mac, where he can't throw Shane O'Mac through the glass. It takes 4 tries to get through 2 pains.
I do want to see Shane O'Mac back.
Epic.
Every time Vince's music hits, I always wish it was Show Me the Money instead.
Going back to the match they had at WrestleMania, Shane versus Vince that year, whatever year that was. They both came out to the same theme. That was a little anticlimactic.
Yeah, I mean, I like Shane McMahon. I think he's got that same over-the-top crazy quality that his dad lacked. All right, so yeah, all right. I guess he could come back. I mean, if he had to do a retirement year, it would make sense for a final run in WWE. Probably make his his debut at Royal Rumble like everybody else does, cruise for a few months, maybe pull a Jericho, and then, end up in the Hall of Fame. And Chad saying, final WWE run would clinch his Hall of Fame spot in WWE. Yeah, that is true. And I'm not going to call him the C word. That's not going to happen.
I mean, I don't even think it's necessary that he has to come back for a Hall of Fame spot. Yes, it would clinch it, but I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, that's probably true, but I think the problem is that he's kind of more well known right now.
If he does,
TNA.
if he comes back, if he comes back and does the run, he will be inducted sooner than later.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I don't think so, because what you guys are forgetting is Kurt Angle is the only Olympic gold medalist in pro wrestling. WWE and TNA both have made a huge deal over that.
Oh, yeah, they're salivating it. He's gonna get into the Hall of Fame. That is not up for debate here. It's just that if he goes, I'll tell you this right now. If 2 years from now, or if in 3 years from now, he is in WWE, less than 1 year later, he's inducted.
Probably, yeah.
If not,
that's the thing. If not, they're gonna have to let the TNA
5 or 8.
Yeah, you gotta let the TNA stigma burn off of it.
You gotta let the TNA stink. Just kind of open the window, air that shit out.
Yeah, grab the steel wool, scrape that off.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So Gary on Facebook said if Rob wants to listen to a good album, listen to Sin and Bones by Fozzy. Was it good? Did you have a chance to listen to it?
I did get a chance to listen to it. Thanks again to
Review
Spotify.
It in 30 seconds.
Actually, I thought it was pretty good. Admittedly, though, Fozzy is closer to my preferred genre of music than, say, Jeff Hardy. And Chris Jericho is a much better singer than I thought he was. But yeah, overall, the album was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Okay, cool. That came in 16 seconds. All right.
Yeah, fuck you, Harrison. I can do it in under 30 seconds.
That's what she said.
This is my
Hey-o!
quality work. You don't hit it often, Joe, but when you do. Robert, in an email, said recently with adding Kenny King and Austin Aries from Ring of Honor and previous Ring of Honor alums like Samoa Joe and AJ Styles, what do you guys think about adding people like Davey Richards, Adam Cole to the X Division? Basically, what he wants to know is, do we have anybody from Ring of Honor in mind that we could possibly put up in the TNA? I'm going to go right off the bat and say I have no idea. I watched Ring of Honor for like 3 weeks, and that show was just boring as hell. So Davey Richards sounds good, though. So I'm just going to not answer this one. Rob, do you have any names? Does anybody have any names in mind that we could really do here? Joe, you got one?
Charlie Haas.
Charlie Haas. Okay, cool. Garvin?
I do like that name. The other name that I would go with is the reigning ROH champion, Kevin Steen. He's over, so I think that would be a perfect fit.
Steen. Okay. Rob, you got any names?
No, not really. Garvin and Joe mentioned some good ones.
Michael Elgin. That's the other one I was thinking of.
You could maybe
Hipsters, all of you.
No, the guy I was thinking of wouldn't work. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Kevin, you got any names or no?
Yeah, I've never watched Ring of Honor. The only one that David Richards I've heard does amazing things in the ring. Sure.
Yeah, he's phenomenal in the ring. He's basically a walking YouTube clip. Ian on Facebook wrote in and said, why are they holding back James Storm from the TNA World Heavyweight Championship? Rob, what do you got?
I have no idea other than that TNA at times does things that are really, really smart, and at times they do things that are really, really dumb. They had to get Jeff Hardy's record contract in, so they did something really, really dumb and screwed over James Storm.
Okay. Joe, what do you think?
Probably it's just his damn luck.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you, Joe.
No, I they must see something that's not ready to be pulled yet. That's all I that's all I can figure. There's something about him that's just not ready.
Garv, you gotta log that one for the highlight reel. Kevin, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Joe. There has to be some sort of, just general reason. Maybe they want to distance the tag team. I mean, Bret Hart went on to great things. Neidhart did nothing. I mean, I don't think we're going to see the same thing here because of James Storm has a lot of talent, but maybe they just want to distance those two for a little while and then build up for that epic feud that we all want to happen. And I don't know, just a thought. So
I'm with you. I don't know. I'm kind of with Joe as well. I don't know. I think he has like Samoa Joe syndrome. He's like his own worst enemy backstage, maybe. That's the only thing I can think of. Other than that, from what you can see on camera, there's no reason why. He's quality on the mic, quality in the ring. Crowd loves him. Maybe this is his year. Maybe this is gonna be the year of James Storm. Who knows? But maybe the other thing is, he's always being overshadowed by someone else. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Robert,
that was going to be my question to Joe and Kevin and everything. What do you think would be holding him back? Because, like Harrison pointed out, when you look at him on camera, there's nothing glaringly obvious that says this guy shouldn't be world champion.
Good, I agree. I don't have anything. I personally don't. I think he's great. I'm just saying, I'm trying to look at it from TNA's perspective and look for reasons that maybe he hasn't gotten there.
It could be aspects of his on-screen persona. It could be maybe he's not doing well at house shows, as far as maybe he's botching moves.
Could be him. Maybe he just doesn't want to do it.
Maybe he's drinking too much, and they think it's a little unsafe sometimes. I don't know. I mean, nothing can be worse than Hardy versus Sting. But
Vicodin versus Vicodin.
The fact that actually you make a good point there, Joe, because thanks to Hardy versus Sting, TNA really has to worry about that kind of thing.
Yeah. Chet saying, I don't think it's Samoa Joe syndrome. Are we really calling it that now? That's not.
Apparently we are.
Way to coin that, Harrison.
It rolls off the tongue very well, so why not?
We coined the worst stuff on here. Anyway,
Syndrome Joe.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, sorry, Samoa Joe. I mean, I'm really that of all the things to really have your name put at. I mean, it's like Lou Gehrig's disease. It's just.
Yeah, that one was a little unavoidable, though, wasn't it?
Hashtag Samoa Joe syndrome.
It quite literally had his name on it. Yeah, so now it's a hashtag Samoa Joe syndrome.
It's a long hashtag, though.
Well, we can't call it SJ syndrome. No one's gonna know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway. Saying, I don't think it's Samoa Joe syndrome. Dixie and other TNA people say great things about Joe on Twitter and other social media. Storm probably just doesn't push himself forward backstage. That's it, too. There's just as much politics backstage as there is in front of the camera. So who knows? Maybe he just doesn't play the game very well. It's a million different reasons, but on camera, there is no reason why. Is ultimately what we're getting at. Robert in the live chat said, for the past 3 WrestleManias, 26, 27, 28, it was okay, not great. Only a couple matches worth talking about. Since WrestleMania 29, is 3 months away. Do you think the last chance to make it as the Grandaddy of Them All, or just another pay-per-view and get owned by TNA Bound for Glory just like last year? I don't know about that one, but that's we had that argument already. It went on for like a half hour, didn't it? Anyway, what do you guys think? I mean, do you think this is the last chance to make it the Grandaddy, or do you think that WrestleMania could be losing its luster? Rob, why did I go to Rob first?
I definitely think. Robert has a point. This is WWE's last chance, and screw you. I think BFG did own WrestleMania last year.
The Super Bowl of professional wrestling, and you think, well, 2013 is the day WrestleMania died.
Well, you know what? If WrestleMania last year was a Super Bowl of pro wrestling, Bound for Glory was the freaking Pro Bowl.
Okay. I mean, if you're going to consider if you're going to say
Pro Bowl,
the Pro Bowl.
So basically, Bound for Glory is like Bears versus Seahawks compared to like what's the worst possible matchup we could have for WrestleMania or for the Super Bowl that would compare to last year's WrestleMania? Last year's WrestleMania wasn't great. Last few WrestleMania,
New England versus the Chiefs.
I don't want to play sports metaphor roundtable. This is okay.
All right, let's boot Harrison off the show. I'm just kidding. No, the last few WrestleManias haven't been great. I think we've kind of gotten away. I think we've overhyped a lot of stuff. Where we have 4 or 5 main event matches. Okay, let's pull no punches here. There's too many matches that are just main event caliber. That's why it's fucking WrestleMania. So, I mean, I don't think we're going to get back to, 17, 18, 19, 20 right in there.
Okay. Yeah, like
But,
the glory days. If you want
yeah, I mean, those years where every match mattered. Every match had a story. And we don't have that anymore. Bound for Glory, did that happen? Probably. I don't remember. I mean, I know I saw it, but I don't remember it. So I can't.
Okay.
I know it's SFTW. Sorry, but
Yeah. Kevin, what do you think?
Well, Joe, you have a point, but at the same time, having Sheamus bro kick Daniel Bryan in the face and having him lose the title in 5 seconds doesn't help any either. So,
I agree.
Are we? But my main point is it losing its luster? Of course it is, because people are going to buy WrestleMania. People aren't necessarily going to buy the other pay-per-views. They're trying to focus on those. I mean, Rock Cena wasn't very good. I got pumped when Rock rocked out, then 5 minutes in, he's gassed. I mean, is it going to be the same thing this year? I don't know. Rock looked good. Rock looked good last night, but can he hold it again? We'll see. But I mean, this might. I think the glory days, I agree, are probably past unless they do the Cena heel turn. WF Fast the Beats 2.0, fine, I agree, but until then, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be very good.
Yeah, look, WrestleMania's not going anywhere. This is seriously, it's the Super Bowl, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to give it more variety, and so they bring in these musical guests that we all hate, and it sucks, but it's a halftime show, and that's how it's going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if the musical guest thing is the thing that's going to stay. It's not going anywhere. Chad's saying that if WWE puts on more concerts with artists, I love it, artists is in quotes, of the caliber of Kid Rock and Flo Rida, and more main events like Rock versus Cena 1, WrestleMania is dead. They're also saying that WWE is the NFL and TNA is the CFL, which we got to see at Joe's bachelor party. It doesn't matter how good the CFL gets, people are going to watch the NFL. WrestleMania is what it is. Or WrestleMania isn't a thing that could end. I'm sorry. Yeah, the chat thing doesn't separate stuff very well. WrestleMania is not going anywhere, and I can't believe Bound for Glory. I mean, maybe if you grade it on a curve, maybe I don't know. I don't want to get into that argument again. All right, so let's talk about the draft for a bit. I am beating Diva Joe, Rob, Radio Influence, Styles Clash 10, and Nick. So that's it. That's the only thing we have to talk about in the draft.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I slid hard. Top 5 is Joe with 38.5. Gary has 33. Lee's got 30 points. Kyle, also known as the Kilo G on Twitter, has 29.5, and Mike has 29. Once again, Lee and Mike are neck and neck, and I'm sure they're just absolutely just high-fiving each other over the Atlantic while texting each other. Top points gainers so far are Daniel Bryan with 18, Kane with 18. It's a big surprise there. Jeff Hardy has 16.5. Orton's got 15, and ADR with 14 on a tear. So it is now time for Win Fail.
Women wrestlers aren't getting paid? Why do you do a job?
Here is your win.
You do any job,
and fail
is to fucking get paid!
of the week.
All right, it's time for Win Fail. Your wins of the week. Go, Joe.
My win of the week is Rock versus Punk. Only for the fact that Rock's work in the match was like 1,000 times better than Rock versus Cena.
Awesome. Rob, your win of the week. Go, Rob.
My win of the week is going to be... Shit, I don't know. I'll say my win of the week was actually listening to the Fozzy album that Gary on Facebook wanted me to check out. That was pretty cool.
Gavin, your win of the week.
My win of the week was Jericho's return. I love that. I've always been a big Jericho guy, and the jacket this time didn't look like light bright. It actually looked pretty damn cool. And everybody marked out. I marked out. It was really cool. So glad to have you back, Y2J.
Garvin, you got to win.
Yeah, my win of the week is the partnership of Kenny King and Zema Ion on Impact. I thought that was great. I just love the idea of possibly Kenny King, Zema Ion versus Bobby Roode and Austin Aries for the tag team championships.
That would be an epic matchup.
Yes. That would be spectacular, yeah. My win is a huge suck up to Juliet, who was on Saturday. I do want to give a quick shout out. It's not easy to come on this show and try and keep up with us. It's also not easy to come on the show and debase yourself to our level. So I do want to thank Juliet for coming on today. Doing the pre-show with us. She did an awesome job. We do think there's a lot of stuff that happens. It's not only what's on the show, it's behind the scenes. We do a lot of tap dancing on here, and she kept up like a champ. It's great. Sounded great on air, and I do want to thank her. Hopefully we can get her on the main show to be great. If you want to learn more about her, go to julietdanielle.com. We also have it linked on our Twitter and I believe our Facebook and Google Plus pages. So make sure you check that out. That's my win of the week. All right, fails of the week. Your fail of the week. Go, Rob. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot the chat. Chat's wins. I'm not reading that one. No, give me a new one.
I'll read the chat.
Yes, I gave a win.
The chat is saying Kevin's return, Kane and Daniel Bryan, and the return of Y2J.
First of all, chat, that would be the return of The Rock. Let's get it right here.
Also, Ricardo Rodriguez for his work this week, and the X Division Tag Team match, plus Hardy versus Daniels. So there's your wins of the week from the chat.
Yeah, sorry I glossed over that. I'm hungry and I want to get out of here. Fails of the week, besides me on this show. Your fail of the week? Go, Rob.
Teflon Taz. Need I say more?
And for good reason.
All right, Joe, your fail of the week.
My fail of the week is going to be the ending of Rock versus Cena. It just seemed overworked and lame. I was not pleased at all with the fact that you didn't actually see that it was the Shield. So everything's just it's hearsay. So when it ends up being 3MB, like Jill said, that'll be awesome.
Really hope it is. Kevin, your fail of the week.
My fail of the week is the Rumble not ending the Rumble. That sucks, man. Even more than Cena not winning the Rumble, that sucks. Freaking, it's the Rumble.
Does it suck more than female wrestlers not getting paid, Kevin?
This particular event, but apparently that can't end the show. You know, it's the little things that used to matter, Vince. It's the little things make things right, and you just keep fucking them up, man.
Okay. Garvin, your fail of the week.
My fail of the week is the IWC in general. It appears no one was happy with anything in wrestling this week. Anything.
Anything?
I have not seen Twitter or Facebook this angry about what WWE and TNA has done in a long time. It's as if this was like the worst week in wrestling ever.
Okay. My fail of the week was on Raw, was JBL and Cole kind of playing up the stereotype of, the fact that Sheamus likes to fight because all Irishmen are drunk and whatever. Here's the thing: we really can't we can't go into stereotypes of people from the United Kingdom. I don't think it's very fair to them. I think we have to be very kind to these people. They're our brothers over the Atlantic. Everybody over there, and we should really be a lot nicer to them. And we really shouldn't, poke fun at them. I mean, nobody deserves that. And really, above all, nobody deserves that. So that is my fail of the week. And if you guys tell Lee, I'm gonna deny that I said anything like that, and I'm gonna say this was an impersonator. This part two.
Right here? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Not gonna say it. No, I never said any of that. Garv, our live chat correspondent.
Yeah, the fails of the week from the live chat was CM Punk dropping the belt, Cena winning the Rumble. Apparently people are pissed off. Well, McBrad's is. He's pissed off that my comment about Hardy could still make an appearance on Impact. It's still possible, though. Also, Tensai and lingerie. I guess that was unacceptable. And The Rock.
Stupid.
The Rock.
That should be anybody. That should be unacceptable to anybody who can see.
That was just stupid. It's just a stupid segment.
Two more fails. One is Wade Barrett jobbing. and Tamina. How they treated Tamina this week.
I'll give you Tamina. I don't know about Wade Barrett. I think they're really trying to build something there with Bo. I think there's a chance there for something cool. I think they're going to build something. I don't think it was really shoddy. All right, so that is it. That is the show. Make sure to check out theftwpodcast.com for more information about us and how to get involved in the future. Our new and improved site has links to our iTunes page, so you can go there and rate us higher than any podcast. Wrestling or otherwise, stuff you should know, we're coming for you. And there's other ways you can support us. All the links and everything are listed right there. We appreciate any help that you can give us, obviously. Thank you, everyone in the live chat, even though I forgot about you a couple times. I deeply apologize. You guys are money each and every week. We record every FTW podcast episode on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time at FTW Live. See you next Tuesday.
See ya.
Later.